Colors, Church, and Whales. Making Sense of Life Through the Eyes of Cancer by Jana West. Section 6. 3 alternate scripts. After this process of gentle inquiry and review, I plan to incrementally, imperfectly, and regularly adjust my course by redirecting my stress responses, not just with these 3 childhood reactions, but with as many outdated loops as I can identify. It sounds like work, but I'm choosing to see this as a joyful discovery, as if I now possess a set of keys, and I'm walking down the hallway of my life, unlocking doors and intentionally setting myself free. Here's a reminder of the ways this is already working for me. From shame over my physical appearance to my body is unique and amazing just the way it is. I have intrinsic value that does not need validation from others. What is most lovable about me radiates from my heart. From a desperate need to belong to, I will always belong to my ancestors and my family. This is my birthright. My family and my world benefit most when I am kind, responsible, and authentic. I honor my family by continuing to grow and look after my relationships. From fear of the natural world to, I am an expression of nature. I belong here. Nature invites my participation. Remain open. Trust my intuition. Check in with my values. Slow down. A joyful discovery. You must be born again. Jesus of Nazareth. The disruptions and calamities we may encounter in life, as well as changes that are part of the natural rhythm of things, can harbor a transformative purpose, a death of what no longer serves the potential, to make room for a new life form. This is life on planet Earth, and not just human life, all expressions of life. As I look back at my experience, I can see a number of deaths and resurrections. Some might call the comparisons metaphor, but my soul claims they were very real. Those events marked the end of life as I had known it and the start of a new life form. As a teen, micro-mutations happened many times, like when I first voiced defiance to my father, or experienced my first orgasm. And let's not forget my first LSD trip. As an adult, more profound changes created opportunities for metamorphosis. When I became a wife and mother, escaped organized religion, emerged from a major depressive disorder, became a caregiver for my dying parents, and my journey with cancer. Much to my dismay, one expression of life ended, so another could begin. Often endings are needed to make room for something new. At the time, I had no awareness that I was dying to my current life. But looking back now, it's easy to see. This mysterious alchemy is on never-ending display in nature. For instance, the life of trees starts with the expression of a bloom or fruit and the burial of a seed. The seed is transformed and resurrected, but must struggle to reach the light. Once the seed becomes a sapling, there will be seasons of growth and more struggle. From seedling to sapling to tree, now there is a season for blossoms, then a letting go of what had been accomplished, followed by a near-death dormancy, and after prolonged waiting, touched by the graces of sun, wind, and rain, the tree springs to life to begin anew. With each passing season, a tree may expand its reach and spread its legacy by nourishing and creating many new expressions of its life. Eventually, it will decline and inevitably return to the earth, becoming part of the soil that was its womb and extending its reach indefinitely. Soil is rich in nutrients because of the fragments and byproducts of the lives that have gone before. The darker the soil, the more evidence of life and struggle, and the more abundant the resources. The more diverse the lives lived it represents, the more lush the potential for the life that follows. Fighting to subvert this natural cycle of life on earth is futile. On the other hand, maybe one can become a miracle worker of magical transformation by using keen awareness, openness to mystery, and skillful cooperation. To cooperate with the mystery of life, remain open, trust your intuition, check in with your values, and slow down. With these tools to aid my perception, I see that cancer was an agent of transformation, an ally who taught me to slow down and how to pay attention to my body. Because of cancer, I decided to re-examine the stories that had become my internal drill sergeants, dictating the ways I spent my life. Cancer murdered the spirit coma that has become my trauma response. Just in time, the spark of life prevented my return to dust, and touched by the graces of sun, wind, and rain, new life was breathed into my lungs, and this reborn version is to become me for now. As is life's way, this new life was forged from struggle, loss, and the death of what was, in the interests of what could be. Although remnants remain of all the lives before me as well as those I have lived, I'm not defined by nor held captive to my former existence. Instead, I'm nourished by the investments and the carnage of the past, and I'm offered that metamorphosis that comes only from cooperation with mystery, while waiting to be born again and again and again. Who are you? I am kindred with the flowers, a brief and beautiful expression of the song of the stars. I am like the tree, the fruit of the earth, and the seed of my ancestors. I am like the songbird, light incarnate, carried by the wind, born to fly and sing. I am a refined beast, traveling with my pack, yet able to stand alone. I am worthy, as are all the earth's inhabitants, of the existence I have been born into. I've been moving fast, focused only on my destination. Now I'm looking back and my journey is a blur. Been lying awake at night, reviewing every angle. I want so bad just to get it right, but now I'm tired. I wanna lay down my burden. I need to find a way I can just be. I know it won't be long until my toiling days have ended. I don't wanna wait until then to be free. Nothing like a close call that can refine your focus. It's funny how I can see it all now that I was blinded by pain. All my plans, they nearly drove me off a cliff, so where is their purpose? This road, it's really just a myth. I'm not in control at all. Gonna Addendum. How do I evolve past pinballing to intentional transformation in real time? Here's a fresh example of how the practice of becoming aware of outdated thought loops and implementing a new script works for me as I continue to live. From my journal, October 26, 2025. I nearly collided with a car yesterday while I was riding my bike. Thankfully, I saw the car that had unexpectedly turned into my path out of the corner of my eye. I responded instantly by applying as much pressure as I could to my brakes. This stopped the bike, but not the forward movement of my body, and I fell next to my bike, landing just before I entered the path of the oncoming car. This all happened in a matter of a few seconds. The thing that really sticks out about this is that I was able to stay fully present in my body during the experience, and that is how I was able to prevent serious injury. Does that seem odd? Allow me to explain. In the past, while in the midst of a traumatic event, I had a reflexive tendency to go limp. Looking back, I can think of several impactful examples. As a child and teen, when experiencing unwanted sexual advances. As a newlywed during heated arguments with my new husband. During a car accident. While in the midst of clinical depression. In all of these situations, when a fully engaged response was called for, my body seemed unresponsive or unavailable to me. I have a clear memory from a car accident. A driver had run a red light, and their car plowed into my car as I advanced through the intersection. For a few seconds, it seemed like everything went into slow motion. I could see that it was headed straight for a collision with another car, but I did not have the ability to move my foot to my brakes, nor could I turn my steering wheel. I could not move my body. I was incapacitated. Is this evidence of an outdated stress response? In yesterday's biking accident, I had the ability to physically respond. I remained in touch with and in charge of my body, and this was a unique, wonderful experience. If I am able to listen to the symptoms of dissociation, a gut feeling, and raw emotion, and then value my own knowing, what might I discover about my tendency to go limp? Where did the story that I am powerless begin? From my adult perspective, what might the thoughts and beliefs of a younger Jana have been about her body? No matter what I feel, I must obey others. Sometimes people hurt me. My body is bad, weak, sinful, and often gets me into trouble. If I can go away from my body, I won't feel the pain. I can disappear and come back when this is over. Here is another opportunity to identify and change a thought loop. How might I rewrite this script? As a child, my body, weak, gets me into trouble. The story I told myself, others have power and authority over my body. The thought loop. If I disconnect from my body, I can avoid trouble and pain. As an adult, my truth. My body is my closest ally. My belief. I alone am fully responsible for my actions and what I allow. My mantra. Staying connected to and caring for my body is my first priority. It is not possible to truly disconnect from the way my choices impact my body. Although I do not control the actions of others, it is critical to take responsibility for self-care and fully engage in protecting my own body. There may have been times during the stage of dependency when those who had the role of protecting me were unable or unwilling to prevent harm. Since I was not yet of age, a coping skill may have been developed that has continued past its relevance, wreaking havoc and unnecessary harm for decades. So how do I take back my power at the age of 60? Remain open, willing and ready for change. Trust my intuition, interoceptive awareness. Check in with my values. Identify what matters to me and allow this to guide my choices. And I must pay attention to my pace. This joyful discovery takes intentional, consistent effort and time. So I will need to slow down. Now that I know better, I can and will do better.